to Winging It in the Kitchen with Gina. Today we are going to make easy, unbelievably delicious toffee bars. Let's do this. Today we are going to make toffee bars. These are so easy and so unbelievably delicious, you just will not believe it. And it just so happens that today my brother-in-law is having surgery at the hospital I work at. I'm actually a nurse, that's what I really do for a living. There's just nothing that says thank you better than some sweets. I'm not gonna lie. We love the sweet treats. So I'm going to whip up a batch of toffee bars, and when I go visit him later this afternoon, be able to bless those med-surg nurses. So let's do this. Okay, I don't know where this recipe came from. I have been making this recipe for years, and literally it's just unbelievable. I promise you, you just have to try it. Okay, basically we're gonna start with a cup of butter. I put my butter out this morning, however, it didn't get as soft as I need it to be. So I'm just going to put a couple little cuts in it and stick it in the microwave for about 12 seconds. I just know my microwave, so you know, obviously you need to be in tune with your microwave. If 10 seconds is enough for softening butter, then you want to do 10 seconds. And then I will give it a quick 30-second blend to break it up. As I've said in a past video, I just liked it to be easy, so I'm not measuring out things ahead of time because that's just not how I bake. It calls for 1 cup of packed brown sugar. I love the brown sugar that comes in the bag with the closure, because then you can just kind of scoop it. I think you can see this on the video. And I just use the bag to press it down. So I'm kind of pressing it down through the bag like that, and then I have a cup of packed brown sugar. So I'm gonna add that in there. It calls for 1 egg yolk. So I have a bowl here for my egg whites because I save my egg whites. I use a lot of egg whites with other recipes. And I just do this whole back and forth jig to get my egg yolk. And then a teaspoon of vanilla. Of course, I buy the jumbo from Costco because I use it all the time. And just 2 little squirts is basically a tablespoon. So I'm gonna blend that up really good. There's just nothing like a butter sugar mixture. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 cups of flour. So there's my 2 cups. This recipe literally has 6 ingredients, or if you want 7, if you add nuts. And then to actually get the dough out, I like to just run it really fast. Kind of do this so it doesn't go flying everywhere too much. There you go. Then I'm going to take my stoneware pan. I love Pampered Chef stoneware, so this is it's a perfect size, the stoneware bar pan. And I'm going to just sprinkle this dough on the pan like so. So the dough is obviously going to be a little bit sticky. You can see it sticking all over my fingers. So this is a little trick to get it off of your fingers. And also, if you're ever pressing any kind of dough or pastry in a pan, this is a little trick. So it already calls for flour, right? So I have my flour sugar shaker. Obviously I've got flour in it. I'm gonna sprinkle the top with just a little, lightly with flour. And then it's gonna allow me, and what I can do too is put some on my fingers just to get all those little bits off. And then when there is a little bit of flour on the surface of that dough, it allows you to press it in without sticking all over your fingers. And you're basically going to press it so that it's evenly spread out amongst the whole pan. Now what you can do is you see that there's thick areas in the center. You just gently use your fingertips to push it to the sides. Again, you kind of want the dough to go evenly across the whole pan. And I'm going to put a little bit more flour on my fingertips, and I just want to press the sides down really well. And sometimes I will use just this side part of my finger to get it pressed down nicely along the edges. Okay, looks good. So there you have it. We are going to go ahead and put this in the oven for 18 to 20 minutes or so. We just want all the sides, all the edges to be lightly browned, and then we will add the chocolate chips and the nuts. Okay, so while that is in the oven baking, we will go ahead and prepare our nuts. Just so happens we love pecans, so I'm going to use pecans for this. How many do you need? Maybe around a cup, 2 cups. It just really depends on what you like. I only have this left from all my Christmas baking, so this is what I'm going to use. Sometimes it's actually really nice to leave a portion of the pan without nuts. Not everyone loves them. Some people are allergic. If they're not highly allergic, and it can be possibly near nuts, but not actually have nuts, some people just don't like them, they stick in their teeth or whatever, then go ahead and just add nuts to whatever portion you want. Sometimes people make them without nuts and they are still completely delicious. But we love pecans, we're gonna add pecans. All right, now I have this is a food chopper from Pampered Chef. I use a ton of Pampered Chef products. I don't really wash this very often, maybe once every few months. I only use this for nuts. So I chop all nuts with it. If you have somebody in your life that is allergic to a particular nut, you might not want to do that, because obviously you don't want to chop walnuts and then chop pecans and have them be allergic to walnuts. So I only want just little medium-sized chunks. I don't want them huge, and I don't want them too small either. Okay, that's it. And I will go ahead and just stick those in a bowl to make it easy. So normally I would not actually dirty another bowl. I would just prepare my toffee bars off to the side of this, but obviously for the video's sake, I need to be in the center, so I'm gonna go ahead and move these nuts out of the way, and we're gonna go ahead and let that bake. I have my chocolate chips ready. It says you need a 6-ounce bag. It's really whatever you have. If only you could smell how this smells. Oh my gosh. Okay, so can you kind of see how the edges are just browned just a tad? So what we want to do is quickly throw some chocolate chips on there. Just kind of cover it. Again, I think the recipe says 6 ounces. I love chocolate, so I'm just gonna kind of make sure that there's gonna be enough to spread. That looks about right. And then I am going to let that set for about a good minute or so. Sometimes I actually will cheat and put it back in the warm oven that has been turned off just for 1 minute. I think I'm gonna do that now just to kind of speed up the process. Put it back in the oven for 1 minute and then bring it back out. Okay, so again, the oven was off. I put the pan back in there just to help the chocolate chips get nice and melty. And then I'm gonna just take a spatula and gently roll over it. If your chocolate chips are not completely melted or melted enough, it will pull up the crust, so you kind of want to try to avoid that. And just gently, as you're going back and forth, you're kind of pushing it out to the sides to make sure that every little part has chocolate. And then I'll just kind of make the cute little design, just in case there's an area that won't have nuts, and I think there will be on this. So I'm gonna take my pecans and just gently sprinkle them, because I'm not sure if I have enough for the whole pan. I'm just gonna kind of stick to one side. What you wanna do also is take your spatula and just gently pat down so that the nuts will get kind of pushed in the chocolate a little bit and stay. Just a little bit, not much. Okay, so there you have it. Beautiful toffee bars that I cannot wait to cut into. They are gonna be so delicious. So this is stoneware. I don't wanna go right from the oven to the refrigerator. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set it on my stove for about 15-20 minutes, and then I'll refrigerate for about another 45, and then we'll cut into them. I'll be back. Okay, so basically I took the stoneware pan out of the oven with the toffee bars. I put my chocolate and my nuts on. I let it sit on the stovetop for about 10 to 15 minutes till it cooled off just a tad. Stoneware, really hot, going into the really cold, sometimes will crack it. So I did that. I stuck it in the refrigerator for about 40 minutes, and now it's still a little tad warm, but definitely cooled off enough. Not so cold that the chocolate hopefully will crack. So let's see how we do here. The chocolate is still definitely a little bit melty. And you can cut these in as big of bars or squares that you want, of course. They smell so delicious even still. Let's see here. There you go. Nice thin toffee bar. These, oh my gosh, I think I forgot how delicious these were. Lord have mercy, these are delicious. Try this recipe. Oh my gosh, let me know what you think. Do you have a recipe that you'd like me to try? Or that you love, that you know is super easy? I would love to try it and share it with everyone. List it below, email me the recipe. I'd love to hear from you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Oh my gosh.